of the race and the pace planes for you. Two of the Aeroshell Aerobatic Team members who will be flying later on, hosted by Continental Express, their official host this weekend. Pace plane pilot is the lead off. That's Mark Henley, right wingman for the Aeroshell Aerobatic Team, followed by air racer Jimmy Leeward, followed by air racer Robert Hoot Gibson, and followed by Gene McNeely, who has issued a challenge to the unlimited racers to race him with his modified air racer T6. Now this is going to put a strain on McNeely. He has not got the horsepower of the two unlimited racers. So we got a pace plane, Mark Henley, and three racers. Gene McNeely, wow, he is brave with that T6. He is not sporting the horsepower that Leeward and Gibson has. Now, they're going to be racing 6 laps, and this is our living history. You know, the late 20s and 30s were called the golden age of air racing when speed was king. And Cleveland, Ohio was to air racing as Indianapolis and Daytona Beach is to auto racing. Air races were taking place all around the country, but when you raced and won at Cleveland, in the Bendix or the Thompson, you in fact won the big one. Change of pace. Jennifer Flowers says it is in fact Alan Henley, team leader, flying. Okay, scratch that mark. Mark's on the ground watching. Thank you, Jennifer. All right, now speed was king at Cleveland. We've taken you back now. Before World War II, up until 1939, the fastest men and women in the world were not military pilots. They were air racers. The world, knowing it was going to war during the late 30s, they all came here to the state of Ohio, to the city of Cleveland, to look at aircraft designs. These were one-off racers. The fastest aircraft in the world. They were reaching 100, 200, and an awesome 300 miles per hour. The air race builders and the air race pilots would actually influence the design of aircraft that would be the fighter pilots and the pursuit ships of World War II. Now, at the end of 1939, with World War II looming, the races stopped, only to be resumed in 1946, 47, 48, and 49. Thompson races were flying World War II pursuit ships. And the phrase used to be, I'm going to get me some money and race me one of those high-speed pursuit jobs. So the airplanes are coming down the chute now. Alan Henley will be the pace plane pilot. He will call, gentlemen, you have a race. Alan Henley will then pull up and look out over his charges, and the racers will be Gene McNeely in his T6, Jimmy Leeward in the number 9, P-51, called the Skydancer, and astronaut Hoot Gibson will be in the number 99, Riff Raff, the Hawker Sea Fury, with the American 3,350 cubic inch right engine. So the unlimited racers pulling about 2,000 horsepower, and the brave Gene McNeely with 650 horsepower will get as much speed as he can. There goes team leader Alan Henley. Okay, wingtip to wingtip. Now, Gene McNeely has very wisely got to the inside. He needs to own that inside and make those unlimited racers go high and to the outside of this race. We're back in Cleveland. The year is 1949. Few people know it, but it will be the last year of racing in Cleveland, where speed was king and where the pilots were September champions. The air racers of Cleveland were as well known as the leading celebrities and movie stars and politicians of their day. You know why? Because they were fast, and at any given moment, racing the pilots in excess of 400 miles per hour could reach you an instant visit to the Grim Reaper. The world's fastest motorsport was at Cleveland and still is at Reno. Okay, here's it. Gene McNeely in the lead with a tremendous disadvantage, but he's keeping low and to the inside. 5 laps remaining of the 6-lap race. Hoot Gibson, space shuttle astronaut, airline pilot, air race pilot, air show pilot, and record-breaking pilot is right on McNeely's behind. McNeely can feel that prop going about, but look at Leeward making a move high into the outside. He's got a 5 and takes more speed. laps remaining. Watching strategy now. Watch Leeward put a move on Gibson. Gibson's trying to get around Gene McNeely. Gibson's got the middle airplane with the red wings. High in the silver airplane, race number 9 is Jimmy Leeward. He's a real estate developer. He owns one of those airports in Ocala, Florida. Leeward Sky Ranch, where you land and taxi up to your own home and hangar adjacent your home. Motion picture pilot Jimmy Leeward, flying in the Tuskegee Airman motion picture and the movie Cloud Dancer. Aeroshell, Gene McNeely, the slot position of the Aeroshell team. Gene McNeely pushing that engine, has got a little smoke coming out. Gene McNeely calling a mayday, push that engine too far. He says, I'm out of here, you guys. I cannot keep up anymore. Gene McNeely calling the mayday. Look, it's wingtip to wingtip. Leeward high with a silver airplane, race number 9, the Cloud Dancer. Down low, it's astronaut Hoot Gibson, who can go 1,700 miles an hour in a spaceship, 17,000 miles per hour. Have raced before at Reno. We'll be there September 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th, but this is Cleveland. The last days of racing. Look at the astronaut down low, the Hawker Sea Fury. Down low. Listen to the power of the Merlin coming up. You can hear it. Leeward in the silver airplane, race number 9. The Cloud Dancer has got little time to make his move on his old buddy, his nemesis, Hoot Gibson. The astronaut knows the Leeward moves, man, and he's holding on to that position. They have got now 1 lap to go. If Leeward does it, he's going to have to do it now. He pushes that engine right up to the boost. He's got a bit of a lead on Gibson, but remember, Gibson owns the inside track. It is illegal for Jimmy Leeward to dive down in front of him. Safety prevails. Leeward's got lengths. He's pulling 6, 7, 8 lengths. If he can hold on without hurting that engine, he can make it around. He's got a half a lap to go. It's not over yet. Gibson knows some tricks. The young astronaut, Hoot Gibson, has been around the pylons. He may still get Leeward. Leeward comes around. Now you watch him dive. He wants to keep inside. Watch Gibson do whatever he can. His engine, RPM and manifold pressure goes forward. He is not going to be able to do it. It looks like the number 9 got him. This is the way it was in Cleveland, Ohio, as they continue to go around. Okay, they were supposed to stop, but somebody tell them they have to stop. Their time is up. I'll tell you, when you get to racing, if you don't pull that masking tape off for every lap that you make, you've got some problems.
They said one lap, winner takes it all.
That's right. Okay, I'll flip you for it. They said they're having too much fun to quit, and they have a little bit of time. They're going to use it all up. Concentration. But look at. Oh, it's going to be tight this time. It's going to be tight. Gibson dives down, but it looks like Leeward got it. Leeward kept it. Oh, these guys love the race. They're out of control. Air bosses put these guys on the ground. Somebody give them the checker flag. It looks as though Leeward said, I had this race, and Gibson said, well, it's not official. I'm going to go around for that safety lap. and believe me, I know Jimmy Leeward in race number 9, the all-silver airplane, there will be a protest. Am I right, Frank Kingston Smith? Yes,
boy, I'll tell you.
There, you know that. So, race number 99, Hoot Gibson down low, Jimmy Leeward diving in, and now they go up. Cool the engines down. Bleed off the speed for the gear and flaps. It will be coming up for a landing. Too much fun, ladies and gentlemen, in 1946, 1947, 1948, and 1949. This was the way it was in Cleveland, Ohio, home of the September champions and the world's fastest men and women in the world's fastest motorsport. Frank Kingston Smith.
And right after, the week after Cleveland this year, we're going to be out at Reno These guys will be out at Reno. The only difference at Reno is they will be pushing those engines to the absolute extreme. They will be on a 10.5-mile course, and they will be turning left. But that's, you know, this, and if you can just imagine all of the airplanes that we have in all of the classes, and Hoot and Jimmy are just two of some of the most incredible iron you're ever going to see in your lifetime.
I love the aeronautical new math that they just demonstrated for us. 8 equals 6.
Yes, I don't know how they did that. Figure that one out.
It's my plane, my race, my rules.
That's right. Okay, we're waiting to hear from Manfred Radius. He's going to be calling us as the racers touch down and clear off the runway. And instant is what makes Nextel's introduction of new coast-to-coast walkie-talkie technology so incredible. With Direct Connect, you can talk to someone clear across America